Sometimes it's helpful for an MCP to guide the LLM on how to work with its data. You can think of prompts as being akin to skills in a code harness, structured conversation starters which help the LLM frame a problem and think through it. Unlike tools or resources, prompts are directly requested by the end user, by convention through a / command. Following the pattern for other primitives, the host can get an MCP's available prompts and the arguments they take with prompt/list and retrieve with prompt/get, which accepts arguments to fill in the template's variables. Prompts/get returns the prompt as a list of messages with the user's variables filled in. A few odds and ends to think about. First, pagination. Any of the list methods can return large result sets. MCP handles this with cursor-based pagination. The server sends a cursor token with its response. Then the client can pass this back on its next call and get the next page. As of the July 2026 spec, many responses carry TTLMS and cache scope fields to let a client decide how long it can safely cache a result before refetching. TTLMS is a time to live, and it gives a number of milliseconds until the result is no longer valid. Cache scope describes for whom the result will remain cached, either public, everyone, or private, just the specific client. Lists, reads, and server discover all carry these fields. MCP describes tools, resources, and prompts as being controlled by 3 different actors, although the distinction isn't always very crisp. Tools are described as model-controlled. A tool is an executable function, and the model is the one who decides to reach for it because it judged the task needed one. That's also why tools are the primitive most likely to have real side effects. Calling one can actually change something in the world, not just retrieve information. A resource is read-only by definition. Resources are considered application-controlled. The decision to pull one in can come from the model, but it can also come from the host itself on behalf of a user request or as something to grab for every session. And a prompt is user-controlled. It's a recipe for best using the MCP that the user can ask for, not something the model does behind the scenes.